Check this out. I've been living like an animal for 13 years. Here's why.
Hey guys, it's me, and today I want to answer a question that a lot of people have been asking me my whole life, and more importantly, they've been asking me a lot recently, especially online. And
Okay.
that question comes in many forms, but it always distilled down to the same thing, which is, in one form or another, why are you like this? Whether it's the dead rat alarm clock, the barbecue puke shower curtain, dead animals in the house, or any other one of the stories that are just an indicator of me living like a complete fucking animal. People always wonder, why would a person live like this? Why would a person be like this? Why am I like this? And I think that honestly, there's a lot of answers for this. I really don't want to make this like a super long video.
Okay.
So hopefully I can distill it down to some main points and not really go off on too many tangents, although I think that I probably will, because there's a lot of like history with it and everything like that. And so basically the first thing you need to know about me is that I actually, if you can believe this, I know this might sound shocking, is that I actually have not always been like this. This is a relatively new thing for me. And I think that it really kind of started a lot when I would say in high school, and then later on it kind of entered phase two. And that was probably somewhere around
Phase two.
21 or 23, somewhere around there in those age groups. And that's whenever, the degeneracy really kind of went, it ratcheted up to the next level. I leveled up,
Okay.
new expansion release, DLC, etc.
Oh
Right?
God.
And so this happened then because as a
I
kid,
remember hearing about him saying he doesn't throw some things away because he holds very charitable moments, or it gives him memory, so he likes to hold on to things, which I could see happen. Yet I think he definitely knows that his lifestyle isn't the best, and I would love to see him change that. I think that'd be great.
kid, I was actually very much like a very conscientious kid in the
Hmm.
way that I basically didn't really want to be perceived in a negative way. I
Hmm.
wanted to be seen as a good person, etc. And I've always had a big problem with being able to like relate to other people because I think that I'm just a little bit off, right? I wouldn't say that I don't have a moral compass, but I would say that my moral compass doesn't point north. And this has been a problem in a lot of cases in my life, whether it's with relationships or friendships or anything in between. I've had a lot of problems because of that. And in the
Okay.
process of this, I've learned a lot of things about myself. And the main thing is that my take and my view on moral issues is not really what I would say a normal person thinks. And this has caused me a lot of problems, and especially like as a young kid, being able to like interact and fit in with people, it's a weird dichotomy because the truth is I actually always did have a lot of friends, and I
Okay.
never had problems making friends. But at the same time, I always felt like I was very different from a lot of other people because of the way that I felt. I used to have, for a comparison, just a point of reference, I guess you could say, I used to have my mom read me all of the different like sins in the Bible and everything because I understood even as a little kid. I'm like, there's something wrong with you. Like you better learn this so that way there aren't any problems in the future. And so I would have her read all of these to me. That way I would understand how to behave, right?
A
Because
man
it just
guided
never
by the
came
Bible.
naturally to me. Things that come naturally
I
to
like
other
that.
people were not natural and are not natural. It's not like things have changed. If anything, they've probably gotten worse as I've gotten older. And so I've always had a big problem being able to like understand like where how you should act, how you should treat people, what you should do, how you should say things, etc. So almost everything that I do is a learned performance rather than an innate social I don't know, like instinct, if that makes sense. And hopefully the performance is good. I consider myself kind of a good actor, at least, right? But of course there are going to be cracks and outtakes as well. And
I
so
think he's good
those
at
are
what he's
usually
doing. That's why he's big. I used to watch a lot of his. I haven't seen him in a long time. He looks good, and this camera is making him like glow.
in the form of the Twitter clips with 100,000 likes. And so anyway, as a kid, I was always treated this way, and people thought that I was a little bit off, a little bit weird. Like one time, like for example, there was a kid that I was like playing with baseball with him,
Mm.
and he was annoying me, making me mad. And so I hit the ball, and I hit it with the explicit intention of hitting him in the face with the ball, and I did. And so I remember there's blood all over the kid's face. He like broke
Jesus.
his tooth and everything, and everybody was standing around like what the fuck? Like what? This is like terrible. And I remember walking up. This was like the best day of my fucking life. This happened, and I was so happy, and I could see that other people were made very
Okay,
uncomfortable.
that's a little bit much, but kids definitely do this. I think I've had something like that too. I think my most extreme one was I used to live in Wisconsin, and my brothers are older, right? And his older friend and I used to be kind of close. And walking back home, we would always throw snowballs at each other. And he's a lot older, so he has more power and muscle, so he's owning me. And if I could compare something to extreme, like I would never do this, but I was a kid and kids do stupid stuff. I used to put a rock inside the snowball and throw it at him. And then I was winning now, and he stopped throwing snowballs at me. And he was like, "Oh my god, this hurts," and he ran away. That was probably my most extreme one as a kid I can remember.
And that's whenever I started trying
But
to
I
like
didn't throw it at his head. I threw it at like his leg and body. So nothing was damaged, guys.
kind of mask my emotions
And we were
and
still
how I felt
friends.
about things because it was very evident to me that I was not really normal. And this has been, again, a huge problem my whole life, but that was
No, I think it's pretty normal. Kids do evil stuff because they don't know better. But as you get older, you learn and understand a lot better, right? No, it's not like that, Chad. It's not like that. Boys are being boys, yeah. That's why there's bullying still, even though people say don't bully. It's just how it works, man. It's how the world works. It's like a hierarchy in school too, like high school kids, ninth grade, 12th grade. You know who to not mess with. And as you get older, you become that guy and people don't mess with you, of course.
pretty much the first, at least the time that I can remember in my mind, the first time that I can remember that and see that, wow, this didn't go over the way that I thought it would go over because I was so happy and nobody else is happy and they think I'm like a bad person. But it's like, from my perspective, that's not how I saw it. And, from my perspective, rip bozo. So this is a big problem, and this happens in middle school as well. I cared a lot about like how I looked, how I dressed, etc. in middle school. I mean,
Everybody
really, who
does.
doesn't? And
Yeah.
I really tried to like take myself seriously, and I tried to have a good impression, etc. Do the right things, say the right things, wear the right things, be the right kind of person. And going into high school, I kind of got there's a weird thing where like I ended up going to like one high school that I didn't want to go to, and then I ended up going to another high school after that. After I told my parents that if they didn't change me over, I would kill myself and fail every single class. Which, to be
Jeez. Okay, I wasn't like that.
I was halfway halfway followed through with that because my first semester in that high school, I had a GPA of a .08. It was actually impressive. It was
Honestly though, if you move your kid's school a lot of times, I think it kind of f's you over because I remember I grew up in Bakersfield, right? I did move a little bit time to time to Wisconsin and then back, but majority of the time I was in Bakersfield 1 through 8th grade, so I knew every single people there because I grew up that whole, expansion. And then for high school, we moved to LA and I knew nobody here. And back then, there was like no online stuff. I didn't have half my phone numbers of my friends because nobody really had phone at that time. And when I went to high school, since I don't know anyone, and also I don't want to make myself look weak, kind of like how he was talking about how the kids dress and stuff and they care. I wanted to always look hard so nobody messed with me because I was Asian and in Bakersfield there's a lot of racism, so I got in a lot of fight. And then later on, people understood not to mess with me. But in this new school, I need to, let people know. So I didn't really have a friendly vibe. I know I'm kind of friendly on stream, but in schools, I wasn't that friendly unless you got to know me very well. So yeah, when I went there, I didn't have friends for like a week, chat. It was so bad. So when he says like he wanted to, kill himself, I think for teenagers, understandable, man. Understandable. Because if you move a lot, it sucks, dude. It sucks. You lose all your friends.
To do. I had to go out of my way for this.
1 week, come on, dude. 1 week felt like a month, man. You eating by yourself all the time, bro. That shit sucks. From having all your friends, like having friends trying to like fight over, trying to sit with you on the bus, to going walking home alone, eating alone every day. Holy, that sucked.
And so then I ended up getting transferred over, and I went to the school where my friends were. And I think that like
So
the
it's
high school
normal.
I
If
had
you're
originally
moving,
gone
it's
to
normal,
was
guys.
a much more superficial, much more like like a higher class high school, because my dad wanted me to go there because like he wanted me to go to school to get an education. Imagine that. I wanted to go to school to hang out with my friends, so there was a bit of a disconnect there. And so I go over to the other school, and I realized that I need to stop caring about what people think about me, because I saw the people that were in that other school, and I realized that's not the kind of person that I wanted to be, because they were the more extreme version of the person that I was trying to be. And at that point, I realized that I didn't really want to be like other people, and I had to develop, I guess, my own
Don't
identity. And
normalize.
this
Don't
was at like,
normalize
I would say
what?
14 or 15.
Big down.
And that happened, and that continued all the way through high school. And, I was always like, I never really had a girlfriend, right, in high school or anything like that. Maybe, I talked to a girl, but not really, okay? And so I was never really treated very well by, a lot of girls or anything like that. And big surprise, imagine that. And so anyway, this happened, and I kind of got used to this, and it was normal. So I would try to improve myself and, like make myself look better and try to do this, and it would just be met with the same outcome, which was a massive failure.
Dude, what are you guys saying? Don't normalize. I said don't normalize being Asian. Don't normalize being Asian. What are we talking about here? Don't normalize what, big dong? Don't normalize what, man? Speak up right now. Little bitch ass. I'm from EU. How many hours to weekly? It's already resetting right now. I went to a new high school, first grade school, and I was there for 2 classes and went home because I was sick. So I didn't go for like a week, didn't know shit. Damn, yeah, missing out in school sucks too. My mom and dad had like this split moment, and I was kind of being like taken back and forth. And I think I skipped school for like a month, and that definitely uneducated me hard. Because I remember the teacher was asking, "Oh, do you know Christopher Columbus? Do you know this map, this map?" And I didn't know anything at that time. It sucked. Normalize thinking like that, little boy. Thinking like what? No, I was saying it's fine to think in a certain way when you're younger. And I literally said at this point, maybe you're just joining now. As you grow and mature, you learn more and know how to behave better, is what I was saying. Changing school equals suicidal. I wasn't saying that's normal. What are you talking about? I was saying kids might have thoughts. They're not going to actually kill themselves, but they're going to say extreme things so that their parents put them in the place they want, right? I'm not normalizing that. Are you crazy? Nobody should kill themselves. Everybody love yourself right now and kiss yourself right now. Yeah, I'll never kill myself, chat. If I come on the news and say Savix died, know that somebody murdered me, okay? It was Goose or someone. Yeah, I would never kill myself, chat. I love living, guys.
Big surprise.
You should too.
Love
yourself right now.
Warrior isn't as attractive to women as it is to other 16-year-old guys. And so anyway, I had this happen, and I eventually kind of got to the point where I was more comfortable with that, and I stopped really caring as much about what like people would think about me, and in general, just like people's perception of me. And this kind of got worse as time goes on. And I think that I spent like my teenage years primarily trying to disconnect myself and trying to remove myself from the obligation to be a certain kind of person to the public and just to society in general. I viewed society as I never chose to be here. This was not up for discussion. I just spawned in here, and so it's like
we're so happy being spawned in, guys. Am I right? We love being spawned.
I have to follow these rules. I have to do all of these things. I have to be this kind of a person. And then, when I was like 8, 17, 18, 19, I asked myself, well, why am I doing this? And so I stopped doing all of that stuff. And I've done many degenerate things, none of which I regret. Nothing at all in my life that I've ever regretted at all.
Okay, that's good.
But, I would do things that a lot of people would consider to be very improper. Let's just say that. And
Improper.
so,
Like what?
I never really viewed myself. I never really viewed it as like a good or a bad thing. I just, simply existed and I did what I would do. And that was it. And at that point, I pretty much had completely disconnected myself from the perception of other people. And this was at the same time, like growing up, my mom was, I think there was maybe 2 years or so where she made above the poverty level in terms of income. And so we basically barely skated by most of the time. And primarily the reason for that, honestly, is because my dad always paid child support, etc., at least until I was 18. And, all that time, she was able to skate by with that and pretty much survive. After high school was over, then obviously like that stopped, and then she wasn't able to support herself, so I was having to figure out ways to make money and try to like piece together money. She would borrow money sometimes from my dad, and it was in general like a very, very negative situation, and so we never really had any money. This was the time where I was pretty much ironically at the peak of my degeneracy. I was probably one of the highest rated warriors
Highest rated
at the time. It was great, but
Dylan,
not
thank you very
necessarily
much.
in real life. And so at this point, I had pretty much completely disconnected myself from the way that people saw me. And I stopped caring about the way that people saw me because I pretty much gave up on being like a normal person. I gave up on being accepted by the public. I gave up on living a normal life or, having a family or anything like that. I just felt like I just was not capable of that based off of my experiences that I had. And
Is he saying like he kind of, or he's not saying that, but I feel like what he's trying to say is like he kind of hid himself because of the poverty back then, which, yeah, I could see. That sucks.
I had many other ones too. Like I stabbed somebody and a few other things too.
Whoa.
I probably wouldn't even say because they would too drastically perception of me. But
stab
way,
someone.
A lot of these instances where I kind of was like, okay, this is bad. Maybe it's better that I'm quarantined in my house. And so anyway, I did this a lot. And
Dude, you got to
my
give
mom
us
and I,
context
like,
on that.
it was really just kind of the two of us. My dad was there. He was supportive, and he always has been supportive. But other than that, I do have family, but none of them live in the state of Texas. And so any trouble, any problems, anything like that, it was pretty much entirely on me to resolve this issue. And so take care of my mom, pay for things, anything like that, it was always on me. And her health started deteriorating at about the same time. This is big surprise. You smoke since you're 16. You spend your entire time smoking cigarettes, watching Ancient Aliens, and fucking around on the internet playing WoW. And you're overweight massively, like she was. This isn't good for your health, especially when you're getting into your 60s, which she was at that time, because she had me when she was like 39 and a half or 40 or something. And so at this point, her health was deteriorating, and I remember like she had like a number of instances where like I would like wake up and I hear her like screaming because she would like I don't even really know what the fuck was wrong with her. I don't know. It was like a weird thing where like she couldn't see out of her eye, and then she had like some kind of like I think like a bleed in her eye, and then she had like I think it wasn't really a heart attack. There was like some sort of like variation of that. And I remember like her like begging me not to call the ambulance, and this is just like, and this is at the same time that the house is fucking, we can barely pay for the house. We're worried about getting evicted from the house. We have no AC, or no, we did have AC. We didn't have heat, and so I would go to sleep, and like the house would be so cold because I would just give her the heater. And I always viewed it as like, oh, I'm sleeping out on Mount Everest, right? It's like, I'm cosplaying as Bear Grylls. And I remember like my in my room.
I remember blowing AC in my face and thinking I'm artist sitting in the frozen throne, and I would just chat stand it. It's this stupid. And that sucks though. His little pass right there. I'm happy he's in a much better.
Ice crystals on the edge of it, right? Because of how fucking cold it was.
Mm.
And so I did that really for like 2 years, and so we had like basically like zero money. And so this happened, and pretty much like her health would deteriorate more and more and more to the point where she couldn't drive, she couldn't do X, she couldn't do Y, she couldn't get a job anymore. And then it relied on me more and more to completely support her in like pretty much all ways. And so, and I remember she would like beg, like she was like on the ground, like crying, begging me not to call an ambulance. And so this was
Damn.
very upsetting for me, by the way.
I
Like I got
bet.
to the point where like at this time period, I would wake up like every 2 hours or so with like a weird thing where I would hear her screaming my name, and this went on for maybe like
Oh
six
my
months to a
god.
year. And also I want to say that like all of this stuff and everything about it, I don't really like. Everybody in life has problems, and I hope that by sharing my problems, people can kind of see where I'm coming from as a person.
Yeah, of
I don't really
course.
care about sympathy. I don't care about people feeling bad for me. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter to me. I hope that nobody thinks that this is coming off as any form of a, like sympathy play.
Yeah, of
I've
course
had things
not.
bad happen in my life. I think that in many cases they've been my fault.
Chad, if you haven't had anything bad happen yet, it's gonna happen, so be prepared for it. I think that's the best thing I could say. And always, if you have someone you love, be appreciative, tell them you love them, buy them flowers time to time. They're not always gonna be there. I know it's some doomer talk, but it's something I had to growing up, especially with like my dad passing and stuff like that. Man, that's so sad. And it was worse because I couldn't talk with them. He like stopped talking, right? So be appreciative, show them a lot of love. There's also good things that come out of it. When I look at like certain meals or I get like a delicious meal, I think about what my dad used to say. He always told me he comes
Why
home.
did you kill Sod Pepe Hands?
Salt sucks ass. He would come home and say, I didn't eat with my friends because I thought about you and he wants to eat something good with me. Like he says some good. Anyways, thank you for the 14-month triple. Be good to those around you, chat. Be appreciative, okay? PPC, of course.
I've deserved
Oh,
them.
is that loud? The
But this is
TTS?
just what's happened. And so anyway, and every action and every outcome in my life leading up to now has led me to the position that I am right now. And I think that in a lot of cases, I'm happy with how I am. And you can't just go back and edit out all the bad
Same.
parts and expect to be in the good part. And so at the same time this was happening, like a lot of my friends were obviously going through
Dude,
college.
Asmongold has big hands.
And so at the same
Dude, if he eats well, I feel like he has good genetic. He's tall, he's got big hands. He just need to beef up and he's gonna be a giga chad. Is what I'm trying to say.
happening, like a lot of my friends were obviously going through college, finishing college, having girlfriends, like moving in and everything. And I was worried about, number one, my mom dying. Number two, being homeless. And number three,
Is he's the only son in the house, right?
at that point, I had always assumed that I would kill myself after high school. Like that was my plan. And Wrath of the Lich King came out, and I just got distracted. I forgot, and so
Gaming easy clap. Gaming gives you a goal, man. There's like certain goals, and if you have a goal in life, chat, you strive for that bad boy. I'm glad he's still.
I ended up not doing that. And because of that, I never brushed my teeth in high school. Never really gave a fuck about it. Never cared. In this class,
Oh, okay. So the story is he had this plan and he stopped caring at this certain. Okay, I see where this is going.
guess what that causes?
I hope he finishes the video off saying, I'm gonna start changing. Oh shit, Asmongold Arc, man. Clean house, of course. Yo, invite me. I'll fucking clean your dishes, bro. I've been doing dishes forever since I was a kid.
My teeth had to be, I had to get fillings and everything as a teenager, and my dad paid for a lot of it, which he was very, very unhappy about. And so these fillings.
Yo, his dad's a giga chad.
This is what happens with.
I don't know what his story is with like the parents splitting. That sucks, but I hear a lot of stuff about his dad supporting him still, which is awesome, man.
Or anything like that. And they did come out, and then of course my teeth deteriorated naturally because I love soda. I love drinking soda. I've got a soda right over there. Went to McDonald's earlier today. Really, really like soda.
Yo, you need this, Asman. Oh shit! Any agua enjoyers? Drink some water right now, chat. cut down on soda. Cut down on soda. Drink like soda occasionally. If you have like a delicious meal you ordered and you haven't ate out in a while, boom, that's when you. It makes it even better too. If you drink it like once in a while, it tastes even better. If you drink it all the time, I don't know, buddy.
I like it so much that right now I only have 5 real teeth left in my whole mouth. And I think you start with the
And guys, look at my teeth. Yo, floss, by the way. Flossing is very important.
32, which is kind of crazy to think. And so anyway, this happened, and all my teeth were starting to rot out. I was not able to eat with one side of my mouth. I would have these toothaches that would get so bad that I would pass out from the pain. And I eventually had to go to like the basically, if you're like, the people that really get fucked by medical bills are the people that are in the middle of like economically, because if you're broke, like they'll do shit for you for like $10. If they can get anything, they'll do it. And so I had a program like that, and so they would have to pull out my teeth kind of regularly, and that's how I lost. I have no back teeth at all. That's why if you look at my jawline, it's very different than if you look at it from like high school or like by the age of like 19 or 20. It's completely changed because I've lost all of my teeth, and my jaw bone is like pretty much rotted out. And so, which as far as I know is unfixable, at least in the way that I have this problem. There's a separate problem that is fixable.
He could get implants in the back though, right?
I don't have that one. I talked to a dentist about it. So it's basically like irreversibly fucked. And so anyway, this happened, and it was not a great time. My teeth were rotting out, etc. And at that point, I had to completely, like, pretty much give up the notion and give up the dream of ever being a normal person. At that point, I could feel myself no longer.
No, you can still be a normal person, man. You can still be a normal person.
Being the same as anybody else.
Chad,
right?
Don't give up. I'm looking at you right now. Don't give up. 포기하지마. 포기하지마. Don't give up.
And I actually, for a while, I really hated it, but then I got used to it, and then I embraced it, and I think that's where I am now. So I would say like that was from like ages, like I would say 13 to I don't know, like 21, somewhere around there, right? Then after that, I started doing other stuff. I was playing WoW, I was making videos, I was doing other random things, right? And my mom's like health pretty much would always get worse, and that's just the way it is when you get older, right? And so I would have to do my best to like take care of her, and worked at the IRS for a while. Tried to work at Sam's Club, didn't really go very well. But overall, I tried to go back to college. I do have a college degree, if you can imagine that, but learned more from business from WoW than I did from business school. And so then I spent that time, and then this was all the time, like, me not knowing if she would, every day I would wake up and like, hear that voice in my mind, and like, it was really, really bad. And
damn, dude, he's like traumatized from his mom's pain. That sucks, bro.
I would do all the time, and I try to always make the best out of things. I try to just, not think about it. But, looking back on it, things were very, very bad. And so anyway, fast forward a little bit later, and that's whenever I was like going back to college. I thought that I would just, basically have a shitty job, play video games for my whole life, and then die, right? And then I got a shitty job, and I realized the shitty job is actually a lot more shitty than I thought it would be. So then I remember it was probably like one of the best
what was
things
the
that ever
shitty
happened
job?
to me, is that I took this job at Sam's Club, and I hated it so much, it actually encouraged me to make myself a better person, if you can imagine that.
Wow,
So,
that's good.
I signed up.
I'm glad he realized that earlier. Because there's a lot of people around like 30 and they're pretty miserable at their job. And if you don't fix it then, and you turn 40, you're going to be 10 years older and miserable, and you can't fix it. It's going to be even worse. So if you're not happy at where you're at, chat, make some time and work on it and fix it. Oh, shit.
Go back to university and finish another degree that I was working on so I could go to law school. Actually, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Really?
Basically, because I had a friend in high school. We would always play Magic the Gathering.
I didn't know Asmon wanted to be alone. I thought he got smart because he watched so many videos from reacting. Because I have like 2 other friends that react, and they actually got so much smarter just reacting every day and looking at Reddit and whatnot. Because there's a lot of good videos out there, right?
And I could see him. He would always manipulate the rules to come out ahead and win different like arguments in Magic the Gathering. And I was like, I bet lawyers do that in real life. I should do that myself. And so that was always my motivation.
Okay.
And anyway, I did that. And
React agree.
then,
No, it's
you know, a
for
number of
real,
other
chat.
things, you know, ran.
Okay, think about it this way. I played WoW for 20 years. I streamed for like what now? 7 year ish. If I spent 7 years just reacting every single day, we would be insane. I'm not even kidding. There's a lot of good YouTube videos out there. I need to react more, guys.
Things that are not, you know, I would say like.
No, I'm not
YouTube
saying like brain rot videos. It's like kind of educational video, I guess you could say.
or public safe that I did, and then after that I started doing YouTube, and then I started doing YouTube, and I focused on that, and I would put videos out of the way that I lived, etc. And people would always find it to be very funny or like weird, and everybody would like.
I actually found out about him because of that cup collection. I saw that, I was like, ugh. Yeah, that was like my first video I saw him of. Because everyone was like, oh my god, look at this cup, right? That's why, in a way, if you do like things people don't do, you get eyes on it. That's why some streamers do some obnoxious, crazy thing people normally don't do, and they just farm off of that.
Like there were a lot of people, and this is true even now, people that like hate me for living the way that I do, and I think that really, you know, people look at a person like me and they see a person who has a number of things in their life that they wish they had, but I've done basically, you know, if you look at it from like, what do they tell you to do when you're growing up? You know, I used every single thing to do as a checklist of what not to do, right? And so, you know, I think that a lot of people could be a little bit, you know, annoyed by that. And so I can see why, and etc. And it is disgusting, by the way. And so
No, I think people get mean to Asmon because he does like react content, and sometimes it can be like a controversial react video, or when you say something, you always have to offend one party or another. Like some people are going to be happy, some people are going to be offended. That's just the way it is if you speak your mind. Like if I speak about Classic WoW and say one thing or the other, one party's not going to be happy, right? And when they're not happy, they're going to start criticizing him to attack him back. And that's what I just see like on Twitter all the time. It's just people attacking each other because they're offended by the words they say, right? Majority of that.
You know, missing half your teeth, and you know, living in a dump with a dead rat alarm clock. You don't know if your mom's going to be alive that day. You've got no money. You have to support her. She's never going to be able to support herself. And things are just basically slowly getting worse and worse and worse. And I started doing YouTube, and things started doing a little bit better. I started doing streaming. Things were doing better then. I went
popped
to
off.
get my teeth fixed, because if you look at my old videos, a lot of my old videos, you'd notice that I smile. You know, when I smile, I cover my mouth when I smile. The reason for that is this isn't Saikuno, where I don't like my smile. Yeah, well, I don't like my smile.
Saikuno doesn't like a smile? No, it's kind of like I don't know if it's still a thing, but in Asia it was more of you try not to like show your teeth out of rudeness. There's something around that, and some people do that. I have one friend that does it too. I hate that, but he does it. He gets like, bro, get your fucking hand off your mouth, man.
It's not because.
But he's just, his family probably does it, or he watched it from a show and he picked it up. I don't know what it is. It could be a cultural thing. I don't know.
It's ugly. It's because I didn't have any fucking teeth, and I didn't want people to see that. And so that's why I would cover my mouth a lot whenever I first started streaming. And so this happened to me for a long time. I go to the dentist, and they tell me it's going to be like around $50,000 to get all my teeth fixed and everything taken care of. Then I thought, maybe, because it was the first time at that point where I kind of like, it really hit me that I had like irreversibly and irreparably damaged my life in a way that I couldn't just immediately like undo. Because like as a kid, you know, usually you make a mistake where it's like you scrape your knee and then, well, you put a bandage on and it gets better. But with this, it never was going to get better, and it's only going to get worse, and it certainly has, by the way. And so, anyway, I did want to kill myself, but I decided instead of killing myself, I'd do
Jesus,
something
he
even
keeps
worse.
saying that.
I'd start streaming. And I started streaming because I wasn't really making enough money. And everybody says, oh, well, I started streaming because, you know, I like interacting with people. It's because I was lonely. Well, I started streaming for money. I needed some fucking money. And so that's what I did. And I was like, guys, we've got a donation goal of $100. And, you know, if we get $100, I'm going to go to Wendy's tomorrow. And I would always meme it up, you know, $1 equals one donut. And it's like, you know, I would make.
I remember seeing that. I think he's lying in a way, though. I think he definitely enjoyed having like a little community of his YouTube growing. And then he wanted to stream for the community. And then if money came in, that was like a plus. I think that's the right way to say it. I think he definitely thinks like that.
Money, and it was great. And
he's just saying it right now for show.
I streamed every single night. I was very dedicated. I tried to make things as entertaining as possible, and you know, I did what I tried to do best, right? And things kind of got better and they improved. This happened just at pretty much the same time. A lot of my friends were kind of evolving and going past, you know, like college. Like they were getting careers, getting married, having kids. And like now I'm pretty sure, I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure every single friend that I have is either married or has a kid, which is kind of crazy considering that, you know, I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing. But it is kind of weird. I'm 34 now, which is honestly,
oh shit, man! I thought I was similar to his age, but he's 4 years older.
A fucking shock. Like I can't believe it. I don't feel 34. I feel like I'm still 16. But I look in the mirror, I see my hairline, and I think to myself, oh my god, wait a minute. I think I'm actually 34. And if I'm really not sure, I talk to somebody who's 16, and then I realize, hold up, wait a minute. No, actually, I am 34. Because there's no better way to realize that you're actually older until you talk to somebody who's actually younger. At least it is for me. So anyway, you know, my stream was doing very well. My social life, really, I pretty much like stopped interacting with a lot of friends of mine because I focused pretty much just on streaming.
Oh boy, dude, me too. I feel bad for my friends. They always want like party and drink, and I never go out, and they probably hate me. But there's still like a few friends that still calls me to come out. Most of them don't anymore because they know the answer. But yeah, I've pushed away a lot of my IRL friends for the online thing. And then going back to what I was saying, I feel like I could definitely have other ways to make more money, but I really enjoy streaming. I really like you guys chat. I'm a parasocial. No, I'm not parasocial. We're actually friends. I'm friends with a lot of you guys in the chat. But I think that's something I shouldn't have done. Because when I watch bigger streamers, they don't really chat with the viewers like I do. I think I miss playing for sure, man. I miss playing 100%. But I like it. I like it. You guys are cool. There's a lot of you guys that I could relate to and have like similar interests and whatnot. Whereas in like my friends, they just want to like drink and party all the time. It's like, dude, I don't want to. Drinking hurts my head. It's cool to do once in a while, just to catch up on life and check on how they're doing. I have a good friend that like stopped by with a lot of food when my dad was sick. So I appreciate them. So those guys I definitely go out for, especially birthdays, Christmas meeting. But I rarely go out to meet my IRL friends. You can have a relationship over the internet with people all over the world, and it can be an enriching thing. It is an enriching thing because when I used to just meet my friends, I knew nothing about EU, right? I think my EU knowledge has expanded a little bit better. And I was talking to Fuzzy the other day, and that guy knows nothing about EU. Enlightened a little bit. You know what I mean, chat? Yeah, I met a lot of cool people online. It's cool, man. It's very cool.
Making this as much as possible, and also I'm a very introverted person in a lot of ways. I like being alone. I don't like people talking to me a whole lot. I don't like phone calls. I don't like interacting with people. I don't like going out. You guys might notice this, right? If it's, you know, a mystery or secret. And so, you know, big surprise, that's how it was. And
I'm growing to become what he said though. That's me right now.
then, you know, I started streaming. My stream started doing better. And there was a degree of like stress that that created. But, and in terms of like my lifestyle and everything, living that way, I never really thought about it at that point. I never really worried too much about like kind of how, you know, people would perceive me. I always viewed myself as like, you know, this is just who I am. This is what I am. That's all there is to it. And I never really took, and I still don't really take any criticism or any negativity to heart. I don't take it personally. I don't really care a whole lot. And so at the end of the day, it never really bothered me, and people thought it was funny. And so, you know, I had like these a snack box, and there were like maggots in the snack box, and I would eat this food.
I'm not gonna lie, him doing that is like good for content. I need to do stupid shit like that too. Like those clips go around so much, making everyone like attracted and watching that. I remember watching that too. Like he was eating some snack out of his box and there was like bugs coming out of it. Yeah, but good chat. If you're trying to grow, those are you farm with those.
With the maggots inside of the food. It was like
No, the thing is, I can't do weird stuff. Guza and I talked about this a long time ago when we were both like, Guza was like 100 viewer Andy, I was like 300 viewer Andy. We were very small, and we're like, Guza, we need to do some retarded stuff, and we're like, we can't. And I said, dude, we need to fall down a stair or something so we can start doing something stupid. But yeah, we don't do a lot of stupid stuff. It's hard to, man. It's hard to.
Which were really, really good. And to be honest, I didn't even really taste them. So it was pretty much the same thing. Didn't even bother me. And so, you know, I had like taken at that point, you know, my teeth had like totally rotten out. And so I had taken pliers to like break pieces of my teeth off, even you know, like if I wasn't able to speak during a stream, because like a point was like, you know, poking my tongue, or like, you know, playing a game or something like that, talking to people. And
No. You got that all wrong. Then Guza started cosplaying, doing stupid jumps. Okay, the jumping on the table is because he lost a 1v1 race with me. And I told him, Guzu, instead of waxing your legs, I'm going to be a good friend and just break your table by jumping on it. Because he was going to break it anyways, right? And the cosplaying, I made him do that too. So Guzu's definitely normal, man. I'm making him do weird shit. And then you guys make me do weird shit too. Which is a W, I guess. Do you remember the cat streams? Cat streams? I don't know what cat streams you're talking about. You into freaky shit? No, I'm not into freaky shit. It's just you guys made me do a maid outfit stream, and it was time Guzu does one too. You know what I mean? And then I made him dress up as what's that femboy character, chat? There's a femboy character with like pink hair. I made him dress up as that. But I worked my ass for that. I had to eat 100 chicken nuggets for it. He still owes me 2 wishes. Astlofo, that, yes. Tummy boy, yes. He became tummy boy.
so
You into freaky shit? I'm not into freaky shit, chat.
I still have the pliers actually in my bathroom from all the way back then. And so this had happened for quite a while. And then I guess you could say I started like, I guess like the second phase of my life of like trying to remove myself from like caring about being
His own
worried about
image.
the outcome of other people. It was always very scary for me to know that like, you know, my mom would die one day, right? This was extremely scary. This was like the one thing that I didn't want to have happen.
Yeah.
And in 2021, it did happen. And so leading up
That's
to
3
that
years
was
ago.
incredibly stressful. She pretty much did everything that she possibly could. I love her, but she did every fucking thing that she could to make things as absolutely unpleasant as possible. Oh my god. And so, yes. It was very frustrating to deal with somebody like that. But, you know, she was 70 at the time. And so it really hurt. And you know, like she was the main person in my life that I was like most connected to, and like, you know, this is the person that I had like the deepest emotional connection with, and to just lose them, and it was kind of random, by the way. Like things got worse over time, but it was nothing like at the very end there. It just kind of went off a fucking cliff. And so this happened, and then at about the same time, a little bit after that, I also broke up with a long-term girlfriend at the time. And then at the same time, my dad got so fucking sick that we were like talking about writing his will, like, and he's still setting all that up because he doesn't know if this shit's gonna happen again, right? What's gonna be? And he's 77 too, so it's rough, right? It's bad. And he went through pneumonia 4 fucking times in a year. And so, and he's still getting around, you know, going to the store, etc. But I got to help him every once in a while too, right? And it is what it is. And so again, and you know, we don't have any family around here, and so, you know, if something goes wrong, if something's bad, there's one person who's responsible for that, and that's me. And so that's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure, right? And you know, I had all 3 of these things happen to me within pretty much 1 year of each other, maybe 2 years with the thing with my dad. And so at that point, I began the second part of, I think that, like, you know, my you know, abstraction of reality is that I've tried my best to remove myself from caring about other people as much as I can, and not caring about them in terms of, like, you know, being friendly. Of course I'm friendly with people, but being emotionally attached to having them in my life, being emotionally attached to the way that they feel about me and how they're doing. It's been very hard for me to actually have any sort of feelings towards people when it seems like everybody that was important to me is fucking dying. And so this, or leaving me, right? Or breaking up with me. So at a certain point, you just kind of get away from that. And then after that, you know, we entered into, I would say, the third phase, which is the point where I you know, lose the connection with myself. And I think that whenever I finally do that,
This is a great therapy session. Him talking about this probably helps a lot too.
One day I might be happy again. And what I mean by that is that I always worry about like dying and, you know, all this stuff, and like how I'm, you know, like where do you go, what happens, right? And it would be very, very stressful for me. And I usually reassure myself by reminding myself that I'm just a hyper intelligent monkey that and I think that we all are, by the way. It's not like I'm special. And that usually is.
The YouTube comments are gonna be a war zone. There's probably gonna be people that hate him or loving this because they're gonna use this as fuel to like attack him, and there's gonna be people being sympathetic, but he said don't be sympathetic, right? It's fair. I think he's just telling a story, and I'm just listening in it as a story, and maybe learning a little bit more about this highly intellectual monkey. He said that, by the way. I'm not saying.
Oddly reassuring, but otherwise it was very stressful for me, and I did think that I was farther along. I thought I would be okay with dying until I thought that I was dying, and then I realized that I wasn't as far along as I thought I was. Recently, whenever I had a
Dude, wait, do you guys... I don't want to die. I really don't want to die.
Blood pressure reading of 194, which is a high score so far.
You need to take care of yourself, Asmon.
So,
take care of yourself.
Improving since then, by the way. But anyway, this has been, you know, my life, and I stopped really caring about anything. I stopped caring about what happens to me. I stopped caring about what happens to other people. I stopped caring about what people think about me, and I felt that the more...
I think him not caring about what other people think, that's a beautiful thing. If you have the power to do that, so be it. But not caring about other people, I think he should still care, like his dad, himself, maybe some close few friends. I could see what he means though, because some friends come and go, right? Could definitely see that. And I've had some friends that, online friends, that only talk to me when they really need me in some way. Yet at the same time, that's not a bad thing, right? They come to you because they know you can help out in a certain way. It's a beautiful thing too. Yeah, I wouldn't really push away everyone though. And maybe he's wording it a little bit wrong here.
That I have, the more that I've cared about things, the more unhappy I've been as a person.
Yeah, no one cares about you. Chat smash.
Chat. I care about you, of course. Here's a heart. I've replied back to you, and so no, I've replied back to you, dude. I've told you like me almost becoming you too, almost breaking my mouse because my mouse kept dying. Dude, thank God I got a new mouse. My mouse, I haven't had a trouble after I got this. Awesome. What the hell, dude? Look at this. And there's a fuck you in the middle. What the fuck? Arzonda, I appreciate you too. Thank you for trying to help me with the potato and whatever. I knew I was complaining, but love you, bro. Alright, let's finish this off.
I think that this is true on like a base level. Is this some sort of pathological problem for me? I think it probably is. But at the end of the day, this is the best way that I know to cope with it, right? And so for me, the way that I live and everything is a manifestation of that. It's always been this way for me. My mom, like growing up, things were pretty messy, etc. But then even now, things are worse than they ever have been in terms of like being messy. But you know, I never really think about it or worry about it because I'm just never really.
He doesn't care.
It doesn't even cross my mind. I'm thinking about things that I want to think about. I'm doing things that I want to do. And I never think about what other people think about me. I don't think about how it affects other people. I don't think about how they feel or anything like that. And it might sound like a bad thing, but it's made me a happier and more fulfilled person, not worrying about anybody else really other than myself. And
If he wants to live alone, that's perfect. His mindset is amazing. That's good. And he's gonna do good because living alone is powerful, you know? You get to do everything you want to do and pursue, have that ambition and whatnot. If he wants to be with the lady though, and if he really loves her, he has to change a little bit for her. I'm not saying like be a puppy and wag his tail for a woman all the time, but if you truly love someone, you have to change a little bit. And yeah, I think he should clean a little bit. I definitely. If my house is messy, I think it's because of my dad too. He always wanted the house to be tidied up. It bothers me. If my house is messy, it bothers me. I can't stand it. I clean. My house is not perfectly clean, but it's up to a degree where I could invite people over, right? There's times where if it's messy, I can't invite anyone, and I don't want it that way. You know what I mean, chat?
unless I have to. And it's been very like weird for me getting older, especially, and you know, like having like priorities change in your life, and you know, having different things happen to you. And so I wanted to make this video and kind of like explain like kind of how I got to be this way, and hopefully a little bit of this can like explain why do I behave this way? Why am I like this? Why do I have no shame with things, right? It's because I've lived a life where I've tried desperately to hold on to any degree of dignity that I've had and anything that I've had, and it's just slowly been taken away from me. Whether it's myself, pieces of myself, other people, or the way that the world sees me. I think that.
Do you know how I see Asmon? Chat, who is that guy? There was a story. I forgot the name. My history teacher used to tell me about it. There's a guy that like lives in a jar. Like this. Like a beard. He's like kind of balding too. Dude, he's a reincarnation of this guy or something. And then like people on the horses would come over. They'd be like, why do you live like this? And then who's that guy, chat? Who's that guy? Genie? No, not Genie. I don't know. There was someone like that.
More that I've kind of just, you know, let things flow freely and not care about.
I gotta study and look him up again.
That I've been, and so it's an ongoing process, and began whenever I said, you know, I guess I said I was like 13, and you know.
Oh, it is this guy. You guys are saying in the chat, right there.
I guess the last thing for me to do is really to let go of myself and, you know, just finally be content with my own existence for the time that I exist. And I'm not really a religious person. I'm not a spiritual person either. I don't believe there's any light at the end of the tunnel. I definitely don't think so. And I just try to make the best of being in the tunnel. And so that's why I live the way that I do. That's why I do the things that I do. That's why I say the things that I do. That's why a lot of criticism and things like this, of course I don't like it. Of course I don't like it. But it doesn't really emotionally affect me in the same way that I think it does for other people. And it used to affect me a lot more, but I've, gotten a little bit better at least at dealing with it. And so hopefully this can answer some
I
questions.
think he definitely cares. I think he's capping a little bit, because if that wasn't truth, he wouldn't be like getting his teeth fixed. He wouldn't be hiding his mouth or like fixing his hair and whatnot, right? So I think he still cares. But if he truly doesn't care, that's amazing. Like I said, like I try to do this too, and I try to work on it, but it's really hard, man. It's really hard. Cause you get like 100 nice messages, and there's one guy that like punches you in the face, and that you feel that. And I'm sure when he gets criticized, he feels that too. Is probably the reason why he's making this video, to tell everyone that he doesn't care. But I think he cares a little bit. I think it's a cap when he says that, which is fine, right? But if he's truly that way, God, he has unlocked something very powerful. I'm still working on that too.
And kind of give people a little bit more insight into my life and the kind of person I am. And that's pretty much about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to cover. 30-minute video. Actually, I was expecting it to be longer. So,
that was a
that's my
good
life
video,
story. That's
though.
what's happened to me in general. And that's why I am the way I am. And will I ever change? Maybe, maybe not, right?
I think if he meets a really, really nice lady, maybe even traditional, instead of meeting like, sounds mean to say, but I think the two girls he met do like OnlyFans, right? And they might first date him for something else, but maybe fall in love with him. I think his first ex, they seemed pretty close. Back then, like I said at the intro, I used to watch a lot of Asmon, and they seemed genuine. The Asian girl he was dating, I don't think she was it. I think she was just there for like to showcase her and get a growth out of it, using him kind of in a way. That's why I think he should meet like it's hard, but if he could meet a traditional nice lady that respects him and maybe tells him to clean up a little bit, he could change for her, and that would be beautiful, man. That would be beautiful.
I mean, I honestly, like, making a lot of money on Twitch and, like the notoriety and everything, like people recognize you. I mean, I just, I guess it's nice, right? And I mean, sometimes having money is way better than not having money. But in terms of, like, having a lot of wealth, I live in my same house. I use my same desk. I, for a very long time drove my same car. I eat in the same places. I do the same things. I really haven't changed at all.
I think that's
honestly.
good. I think that's really good.
Ever since I was like younger, ever since my stream got popular. And maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I won't.
Yeah, I don't think he should use that as a backup. I know like PewDiePie did this too, where he drives like a normal car and has the same house, but buying something to make your life a little bit better. I'm not saying buy expensive sports car and whatnot, by the way. I'm just saying like maybe new furniture is not bad. Maybe a new bed sheet. Like, you don't want to use those dirty bed sheets all the time, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
At the end of the day, I think that one thing that I've always really kind of focused on and thought about a lot is that I have complete and absolute agency over my own life. I can do anything that I want to do.
That's
and I
amazing.
cannot do anything that I don't want to do. And I think that's been a very comforting fact. And so people ask me, like, are you ever going to do this? It's not something I'm really thinking about changing right now. But in the future, I might change my mind. I just don't know yet. And so I just try to live life and enjoy it and, be able to experience things for the way that they're meant to be experienced. And really, I don't care a whole lot about that either. I don't care about, going out or having certain life experiences or, oh, you'll regret this. Well, who cares if you regret this when you're old? You're about to.
Dude, Asmon has big hands, man. Dude, his hands are big. Dude, this guy got good genes. You start working out, buddy.
regret this. Well, who cares if you regret this when you're old? You're about to die anyway. It doesn't even matter. And so I've never really felt that way.
That's why there's a saying, life is suffering, but worth it.
It's just not, it's not in me. And so that's really my whole life. And that's why I live the way that I live. It's why I do things the way that I do things. And, you know, maybe one day it'll change. Maybe one day it won't. Who the fuck knows? Tune in next time to find out. So anyway, guys, hopefully
Great video.
This is a little
I
bit
like that.
more informative, etc. And
This was fun to watch.
I got an early end for the day. We had to record something early, so I came home. I figured I'd record this, and it's only 6 p.m. And so I don't know what the hell to do with myself now. I'm not streaming. I'm gonna go walk around my house like an NPC. And so, like, I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to go play video games. So, anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for listening if you've gotten
I wonder what he does.
And, yeah.
Off stream when he walks around like an NPC.
And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been so supportive and everything. And, you know, my best way that I can say thank you is by doing more of it. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And that's about it. Peace.
That was good. I liked it. I liked that a lot. Very, awesome and opening. He's very open-minded. Yeah, of course. I think the servers are back up, so let's go open our vault, boys. Can you watch this video? It just came out. Sure, I'm down. Fuck it, dude. Let me use the restroom and watch this, okay?